Hi, everybody. This is Skip Alzheimer, and welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime streaming show that's been pre recorded. Um, yeah, so sometimes we do this when we can't actually broadcast at our normal lunchtime. So um, we've got some great films today and actually some repeats, only because people have been requesting certain films. So I'll get to those. But before we get started, this first film is Apollo Mission. What's the actual title of this? Apollo Mission Highlights. And this is a look at the Apollo mission early on in the 60s, long before they actually were launching, and using animation to describe what's going to happen on the mission. So this is a wonderful NASA film. And I love this kind of. There's a bunch of films that kind of talk about this is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to launch, and this is what different parts of the vehicles are, and this is what they're going to do. And so this is wonderful to geek out to if you're a NASA geek. So enjoy.
As the crow flies, it's some 240,000 to 250,000 miles to the moon. The exact distance depends on the position of the moon in its orbit. Three men will make that journey in a spacecraft. Two of them will land on the moon. The third will have traveled 250,000 miles and come within 92 miles of the moon. But he will share equally in the epic event of our century, the first time man has set foot on the solid ground of another heavenly body. Launching the three-man Apollo spacecraft will be the Saturn V launch vehicle. It has three separate launch stages. Together, they generate enough power to lift 250,000 pounds from the launch pad, 40 times the weight of Gemini, 85 times the weight of Mercury. In the left couch of the spacecraft, the commander bears full crew responsibility for the mission. In the middle couch is the command module pilot, the one man who will not land on the moon. Right couch, lunar module pilot, a specialist in the systems of the separate spacecraft which lands on and takes off from the moon. Attached to the spacecraft is the service module, an equipment and propulsion unit. It includes a large main propulsion engine and smaller jets for maneuvering in space. The lunar module is a strange-looking craft. However, it's not designed to look good, but to land in an airless atmosphere under 1/6 gravity. The Apollo spacecraft is not launched directly to the moon, but first into an Earth orbit. In early stages of launch, a separate launch escape system is ready to pull the spacecraft free in case of emergency. At 39 miles altitude, the first stage exhausts its fuel and is jettisoned as the second stage ignites. The interstage structure falls away, as does the launch escape system. Shown here in animation, the second stage is jettisoned. The third and final stage of the rocket is fired, inserting the spacecraft into a 115-mile parking orbit. The third stage is shut down, but it will be fired later a second time. Now, the moment of decision looms ahead. Apollo is orbiting the Earth. Commander and crew check out the systems. The flight director at Houston receives a constant stream of information. From the network of tracking stations comes the exact orbit. From Marshall's Space Flight Center, verification that the third stage can be fired again. From the doctors in mission control, the condition of the crew. Computers make final calculations and transmit them to the spacecraft. On the shoulders of the flight director rests the final responsibility for committing 3 human beings to a flight 250,000 miles into space. That decision will come most likely in the second orbit over the ocean. Crew secure in their couches, the third stage is fired automatically for 5.5 minutes. And man is on his way. 15 minutes outward bound on the translunar trajectory, the commander fires his reaction jets. He turns around and docks with the lunar module. The third stage is jettisoned. Now the large propulsion engine of the service module is free for later use. The crew is now actually coasting in the vacuum of space. Average velocity, 3,300 miles an hour. The flight will take about 3 days. The Deep Space Tracking Network monitors the position of the spacecraft and provides communications with it. 2 or 3 mid-course corrections can be made from mission control during the flight to the moon. The commander navigates independently by taking star readings as a backup to ground computations. Then, as the spacecraft swings around the moon, the service module engine is fired, reducing velocity. The crew is in an orbit 92 miles above the moon. 2 men, the commander and lunar module pilot, transfer to the lunar module through the nose of the spacecraft. The lunar module is separated. Its descent engine lowers it near a pre-selected landing area on the moon's surface. The commander takes over the controls of his spacecraft and manually flies it to final touchdown. When they reach the surface, the astronauts cannot go out immediately. They must first check out the lunar module systems. They then put on their lunar spacesuits and backpacks to protect them against the outside temperature of some 200 degrees Fahrenheit, random meteoroid impact, and to furnish oxygen and pressure in the airless void. Some 2 hours after landing, 2 Americans will stand together for the first time on the moon. Surrounded by the silence of 5 billion years, they will set to work. Their first major task of exploration is to set up a series of experiment packages similar to these modules being tested on a simulated moon. Powered by a small atomic generator, these scientific experiments will send information back to Earth long after the astronauts have left. Scientific data on the charged particles of the solar wind, magnetic characteristics
Yeah, so many great things there, and that animation is not, it doesn't hold up. Nowadays it's all CGI, but that's real, cell animation, and some of it isn't just barely animated; it's just moving a cell across the frame. Um, but one of the things is, so we're in the midst of the round 3 of our toe tapping tournament, and I wanted to kind of quickly show the bracket. We have I Am Me and I Want to Be versus Ducks, and Choosing What to Make. That just got cut off. Let me try to fix that. There we go. Let's try that. Okay. Choosing What to Make versus Education Today. Never Say You Can't Until You Try versus World of Work. And then the AC Delco 1973 Spring Campaign versus Garbage in Your Gut. If you watch yesterday's show on either Facebook or YouTube, at the beginning of the show and at the end of the show, we show the songs, and we would love for you to vote. So that's something to do. But the reason why I bring this all up is because last year we did it, and there were two songs that we kind of pulled out and we loved, and I actually try to show every once in a while. One of them, of course, is "Shake Hands with Danger," where we show the new version done by Scott Phillips, and then the other is from Magnificent Major. Books Are for Burning. Well, we get lots of requests to actually watch those films, and it's been a while since I've shown them. So here's "Shake Hands with Danger," uncut. Enjoy.
I can check that gear in a minute, so don't touch anything, okay? Hey! Get down from there! Now! Hey! Turn it over! What if it bumped that control by accident? You'd be mincemeat by now. What have I told you? You don't work on equipment when the engine's running.
Well, I told him not to touch anything. All right, I guess I wasn't thinking.
You weren't thinking? You mean you'll work on engines and machinery and not think of your own personal safety? Here. Shake hands with Danger.
Shake hands with Danger. Need a guy who ought to know. I used to laugh at safety. Now they call me Three-Finger Joe. Shake hands with danger. Find it anywhere you choose. Be careless for a moment. Spend a lifetime with the blues. Earth-moving machines are designed for safety, but they're big enough to hide a man.
Hurt, fella. Just about dead. You could have killed me.
This mechanic is lucky he's able to complain. He should have protected himself by removing the key and putting a do not operate tag on the controls. Anytime you pick up a wrench, reach for a control, use a grease gun, grab a welding torch, or work on any machine while forgetting safety, you're shaking hands with danger.
Whoa. All right? Okay. All right, now you take the loader up behind the hill where they're working. Now I'll drive up on the road and I'll meet you at the top, all right?
Okay, but you know, Cliff, I never operated this model before.
Well, all right, all I have to do is back it up and then let it down nice and easy like. You want me to do it?
No, I can handle it. There's no sweat there. We can take care of it.
Okay, all right, I'll see you later.
What this man didn't know was that the operator had left the lift lever in the raised position, so the arms would rise automatically when the engine started. A qualified operator would have known better. The man shouldn't have tried to perform as an operator when he wasn't one.
Well, you weren't kidding when you said you didn't know how to run that thing, were you?
Chuck Hamlin is no beginner. Before he begins changing an O-ring on an excavator boom, he checks. Oil temperature down, engine off, bucket grounded, hydraulic lock engaged. Okay, he'll have that O-ring installed in minutes. You'll save yourself a minute, but you may damn well lose it all. Wherever possible, the stick should be extended and the boom lowered so the work can be done at ground level. Finding that impossible, the next man used the service truck as a safe work platform. Climbing with tools can create a hazard. Use the steps and the grab irons. Keep at least 3 points of contact, 2 feet and 1 hand unencumbered. Any shortcuts, and you're inviting injury. In fact, taking shortcuts is often a quick road to trouble. For example, consider what happened to Harry Sanders. Harry has come to work with a problem. His son is having a football injured knee operated on this morning. Harry wants to finish this job and take a couple hours off to visit his son. The operator has complained that the scraper is shifting too slow and the controls are sluggish. In a hurry, Harry pulls only 1 axle. The service manual says to pull both axles and disconnect steering. But Harry knows with 1 axle removed and the differential unlocked, the machine shouldn't move. He's taken this shortcut before. While waiting for the operator to return, Harry starts the machine in order to judge the problem. While he waits for the engine to warm, Harry's thoughts drift to worries about his son. The accelerator feels stiff, so then he checks the feel of the service brakes. His attention is divided. While thinking about his son, his hands and feet go through motions he believes have become automatic. In this absent-minded state, he unconsciously starts to steer, jams his foot on the differential lock, and the machine takes off. Lucky for the stunned operator, the machine stops itself. Harry is only bruised, but in a crowded area he could have killed someone because he ignored safe procedure to save a few minutes' work. Now, most people have days when they come to work with worries, hangovers, or distractions. Those are times for being doubly cautious. When the body's on the job, but the mind is elsewhere, it's danger time. Glenn Greenwood was victim of another kind of mental hazard, ego.
How you doing, hotshot? It's stuck in there tight. Did you get that pin, driver? No, but I got this drift. Just give it a whack.
Glenn knows the risk of striking hard against badly chipped metal, but he's wearing safety glasses, and there's a macho thing involved here. Glenn doesn't want his friend to sneer at him for being overly cautious. So, Glenn shakes hands with danger. Maybe his friend would have laughed if Glenn had insisted upon playing it safe, but he sure as hell isn't laughing now. With tools, the time to make sure you have a safe ending is before you start using them. They should be the right tools for the job and in safe condition. If Glenn's friend had ground off that mushroomed face, taken care of the tools he uses, he could have prevented that accident. Some old-timers think accidents happen only to greenhorns.
Hey, Red. I got a bracket on. You want to come take a look at it?
Let them learn the hard way, they say. Now, let them learn the hard way can be an attitude that results in serious injury.
Sorry about that.
One word of caution from the old-timer would have saved a lot of pain and lost work time. And even the old-timer can lapse into carelessness. The safety gap is correct when he starts, but he doesn't think about how much he's grinding down the wheel. He gets by with it on that longer piece. Fingers aren't the only things to think about when working with track. A near miss due to the mechanic's failure to restrain the track before he unloosened it at a high point. Here, they're about to push a high-sprocketed machine from an old set of tracks onto a new set. With both tracks removed, the machine is free to roll. On a slight grade, it may just take off.
Hey, get away from me! Drive down! Let's go, back under!
If they'd had an operator in the machine, he could have stopped it by dropping the ripper or blade. Now, they should have planned proper blocking and restraint. But better still, they should change one track at a time. Then there can't be a rollaway.
Have we got going here, huh?
Hurry and failure to heed safety warnings can also endanger those doing routine maintenance. Despite constant warnings about hot oil and pressure systems, some optimist always thinks he can get his hand away in time.
Oh, God! Oh, geez. Hot! Oh, God, somebody help me!
Needn't have happened. The temperature gauges, pressure gauges, and the safety caps on cooling systems are there to prevent accidents from occurring. The people who shake hands with danger are those who don't learn beforehand what they're getting into, like the owner whose brake rotor chamber has been losing air pressure.
Hey, Sam! There you go. I got the brake chamber off the loader. I gotta run into the dealers to get some repair parts. While I'm gone, will you take it apart to save us some time?
Okay, Bill.
At this point, the service manuals call for the insertion of a threaded tool to hold the spring force. Sam hasn't read the manual. He doesn't know he's releasing a force that might be as high as 1,750 pounds. Whether you're working on anything from nitrogen accumulators to inflated tires, it pays to know the kind of power you're dealing with beforehand. The warnings about gasoline are as old as use of the fuel. Yet somewhere, somebody is always deciding it won't hurt to use it as a cleaning fluid just this one time. Oh, he'll empty the pan very carefully, just as soon as he finds a rag to wipe off the carburetor. Meanwhile, the fuel keeps vaporizing.
I've only got about another hour to go on this thing. I got to get that thing washed over there. I'll be done in a minute.
It's possible to become overconfident about handling dangerous materials. A good reason why safety instructions should be repeated at frequent intervals. Oddly enough, it isn't lack of familiarity with the job that causes most accidents. Often it's the routineness of the work that makes a person overconfident. Now, Bill Myers is changing buckets, a job he's done at least 100 times. If he were new at it, Bill would be watching and thinking about every step. Now it's so routine that caution has been dulled. The hole is dry. The pin won't slide in. There's no stick or swab in the grease can, but he could surely find one if he took the time to search around. This is the moment, that split second when a man decides between being safe or shaking hands with danger. If he couldn't find a stick or a swab, Bill could have had the linking members moved apart and greased them separately. It would have been a nuisance, but Bill Myers would give anything to be able to go back and do it the right way.
Hey, Ernie? Yeah, I got this hose off of the dozer blade here. Why don't you put this bolt in that end of it? I'm going to take this into the shop.
All right, I'll get it done.
He should have blocked both push arms, and he should never have relied upon anything as unstable or crushable as building blocks. Improper blocking and failure to block are major causes of crushing accidents.
Hey! Come on down out of there.
We're dealing with enormous weight, and we should never depend upon hydraulics alone to hold it up.
I'll show you something back here. Ted, the position this truck bed was in without these locking pins in, and you working underneath the truck bed, and it had failed, you'd have had it. So, these pins should be in place as such.
Now, it's always important to look out for the other guy. Safety is always in the hands of people on the job. The warnings and cautions are there for those who heed them. Safety procedures are spelled out and illustrated in lubrication and maintenance guides, operators' guides, and service manuals. The protection is there in machine design and safety devices.
Well, might as well get used to them because you're going to be wearing them for a while.
Safety instruction, emphasizing knowledge and awareness, prevents accidents by encouraging safety consciousness. And protective clothing helps shield the body from the unexpected. The human element remains. It can lend itself to safety or turn a routine situation into a dangerous one.
Hey, Bob! I gotta get this machine out of here.
That engine's not running.
I don't care if it's running or not. You see them trucks? Them trucks gotta come through here. I want this out of here right now.
Now, we all know that the serviceman doesn't always work under ideal conditions. Mechanic Bob Murray has an excavator with a dead engine. It won't start, which means the brakes are locked, which means it's going to sit right here until Bob disconnects the final drives. Then he'll have a machine he can move. What he should also have, but doesn't, is a second vehicle to provide braking. Shake hands with danger. Hurry up and get it done. It takes two men to move this thing, but I'll make do with one. Now, Bob isn't dumb. He wouldn't try towing it all the way to the shop without help. But he just wants to drag it 100 yards or so and get that foreman off his back. Bob Murray will never again tow a freewheeling machine without having control over the braking. Now, Bob was lucky. Others were not. Shake hands with danger. 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 And friends I used to know, compared to them I'm lucky to be just Three-Finger Joe.
That film gets better every single time I watch it. It's so well done. It's so intentionally great. It's funny. It's gory. It's got suspense. The song is incredibly catchy, and that's what, of course, won the Toe Tapping Tournament last year when we competed against Found Footage Festival. This next film is it's a really odd series. It's called Unicorn Tales, and the premise is they take a story, like a common children's storybook, and then they kind of extrapolate this other narrative around it. And some of them aren't very good, but this was the first one I saw in the series, and it just blew me away. It features a young Tisha Campbell, and she can sing and she can dance. And so there's at least 3 or 4 songs in here, of which Books Are for Burning, of course, is my favorite because it takes place in a disco. But this is Magnificent Major. Enjoy.
Nope, it isn't a keyboard. That checks out. Gary, did you test the verbit? Renee! Did you hear the bell? It's 3 o'clock. We're free! Tomorrow's a science fair, Daisy. You promised me you'd help me with my book report tonight. Daisy, don't you understand how important it will be if we can get the Weeble Fetcher to work? Nobody in history ever built a Weeble Fetcher that worked. And a lot of people tried. I don't want to have to read the book. Why should I read The Wizard of Oz? I already saw the movie. Did you ever think you might have a good time reading it? A good time? Reading? You've been hanging around this school too long. Anyway, I sure know I have. I'm bored, I'm wasting time. What am I doing here? Why do I have to learn all this? It's not very clear. What good is it to me? Oh, what good is it to me? They tell me school's the place to learn what I need to know. But I'm just sitting here while I am waiting to grow. What good is it to me? Oh, what good is it to me? Reading and writing and arithmetic makes me sick. Chemistry, history, it's all a mystery. I don't need no education. I don't need no aggravation. I don't need everything I have to know. I can learn from a TV show. I wish I'd find a world where there would be no school. 'Cause life must be fantastic in a place without rules. What good is it to me? Oh, what good is it to me? What good is it to me? Oh, what good is it to me? Reading and writing and arithmetic make us sick. Chemistry, history is all a mystery. I don't need no education. I don't need no aggravation. I don't need everything I have to know. I can learn from a TV show. think Renee don't want that works.
Oh, I am sorry. Hardly anyone ever comes here anymore. I thought you were one of the exhibits. I guess these old eyes just aren't what they used to be. Actually, they used to be knobs from an FM radio.
Honest?
I told them I'd see much better with knobs from a television set. But, well, you've got to expect a few mistakes when you're being built by humans.
You're a robot, invented by a mad scientist, like in the movies.
Oh, goodness, no. I wasn't always a robot. Actually, I started out as an electric toothbrush. Yes, with 3 speeds and a traveling case. And then, before I knew it, I was a hot plate in a luxury hotel in Cincinnati. Oh, it was awful. I fell in love with the refrigerator way up in the penthouse.
Wow.
But I knew it could never work out. She was too far above me. So, I left and took a job as a jukebox in Atlantic City.
I'd love to be a jukebox.
Do you know, to this day, every time I get the hiccups, my chest lights up and I play a golden oldie. Very embarrassing for a major entrusted to guard the palace of the past.
Is that what this place is?
Ever since 2157.
The year 2157? Wow. I'm in the future. Where are the other kids?
Right through that tunnel.
On another Vibelfector? But isn't it exciting? I won't have to do my book report.
Book report?
Sure, on the Wizard of Oz. What's the matter? It's just a book.
That's what I thought it was. Put it away! Don't let the Grand Peroni see it.
Who?
If the Grand Peroni finds out that you have books,
Who?
he can be anywhere.
Who?
The Grand Peroni!
At your service, His Imperial Smarminess, your friend and mine, me. Ah, children, do not shrink back in fear. Your Poloni loves children. Oh, it's true, I am the most powerful man in the country. Why, some people fear me and hate me. Others hate me and fear me. But sweet little children have nothing to fear from their lovable old Poloni. I smell something terrible. It smells like intelligence. Could any of you children be carrying books?
Only me, sir. It's just my school books.
Books? This is a job for the Polinettes! Polinettes? Oh!
Coming, Chief! Coming!
Chief? I'm not the chief. That's the chief.
How did the chair get to be chief? Polinettes! Oh! What, may I ask, is a dear little cupcake like you doing with nasty old school books? My dear child, we haven't had school or books in ages.
No school? Really?
Why don't you get rid of that school book? You can drop them in here.
It'll get all burned up in there.
Well, of course it will, dear child. And so it should. Books tamper with man's basic, natural ignorance. Now, what could be worse than that?
But I can't burn this book. It's school property.
Nonsense! Apple sugar. You just need to get into the mood. Books are not where it's at, teaching you how to spell cat. I know you'd rather play, so why don't you throw all your books away? Books are made for burning, the fire is already yearning to put an end to any learning.
1, 3, 5, 9, throw 'em in the fire, try.
Put the books in the fire, see the flames growing higher. Burning books is our heart's desire.
2, 4, 6, 8, time to incinerate.
Books will not make you wise, and reading's bad for your eyes. I am sure you agree, so why don't you give all your books to me? Books are made for burning, fire is already yearning to put an end to any learning.
This one here is very good about a man named Robin Hood.
Put the books in the fire, see the flames growing higher. Burning books is our heart's desire.
Though I never liked Tom Sawyer, I won't be a book destroyer.
Books can only confuse, teaching you things you can't use. You should listen to me. Burning your books will set your mind free.
Books are made for burning, fire is already yearning. Put it into any learning. Put the books in the fire, see the flames growing higher. Burning books is our heart's desire. Books are made for burning, fire is already yearning. Put it into any learning. No, stop!
I've toyed with you long enough, my young pretty. Pilots, take her away.
Thought I'd get a trial.
Ladies and gentlemen of the court, distinguished members of the jury, we must decide today, fairly and with an open mind, no matter how guilty she looks, whether the prisoner who calls herself Daisy Bunsen is innocent as she claims, or whether she is guilty. Now, we all know the terrible damage books can do. Crowd your little brains with all kinds of facts. Make you smart, make you think. Books are like potato chips. You try one, and before you know it, you want another. And then another. And before long, you have fat brains. Books lead to reading. Reading leads to school. And schools lead to tests. I rest my case. Is there anything else you wanted to say?
Who's afraid of paper and glue? It's only a book telling stories just for you. Discover a book. Travel to a land far away. When you read a book,
It's the Major. You!
Do you really want to be defended by this toaster?
Actually, I never was a toaster. But I did spend some time as a bread warmer in Cleveland once.
Go ahead. I can hardly wait.
I call as my first witness.
Doesn't make any difference who you call. No one would be brave enough to disagree with their Grand Poloni.
I call the Wizard of Oz. Oh, he won't be coming from there. He'll be coming from here.
You're gonna read that? That's not fair. I'm the only one that's allowed to be unfair.
Dorothy lived in the middle of the great Kansas prairies with Uncle Henry, who was a farmer, and Aunt Em, who was the farmer's wife. Their house was small. For the lumber to build it had to be carried many miles. "Quick, Dorothy," she screamed. "Run for the cellar." Toto jumped out of Dorothy's arms and hid under the bed, and the girls started to get him. Aunt Em, badly frightened, threw open the trap door in the floor and climbed down the ladder into a small dark hole. As for the Scarecrow, having no brains, he walked straight ahead and so stepped into the holes and fell at full length. It never hurt him, however, and Dorothy would pick him up and set him on his feet again. But the old crow comforted me, saying, "If you only had brains in your head, you would be as good a man as any of them. Brains are the only things worth having in this world, no matter whether one is a crow or a man." "Where in the world did you come from?" "From the land of Oz," said Dorothy gravely. "And here's Toto, too. And oh, Aunt Em, I am so glad to be at home again."
From her.
Come on, Daisy, let's make a run for it! Come on, Major!
No, wait! Hold it! Hold it! Stop her!
You go ahead. I'll join you. On to the Chamber of Journeys. Let's get Daisy home.
Up there. What are those squiggly lines? That's writing. It says, library. Welcome to the joy of the written word. How come the door's open?
Reading is the key, my boy. Everyone. Daisy, there's your Wiebelfetzer. You'd better hurry before the Grand Poloni finds us.
Do you know how to read?
Of course. If I didn't, I'd still be an electric toothbrush.
Would you teach us?
Teach you? Why, I don't see why not. I've never been a teacher before. Daisy, quick! The machine!
Read us!
I'll tell you what. I'll teach you all to read.
Teaching Polonets to read?
Yes, your Polony ship.
Your Grand Polony ship. I hate it when they leave out the grand.
Your Grand Polony ship. You can't stop people from reading anymore.
Oh, I don't want to stop them. I want to learn, too.
You?
That's why I ran after you. That was a wonderful story. I had no idea that books could be more fun than being me. Now, I want to read everything. Can I come to class, too?
Of course you may. Daisy, the Beetle Fetcher, it's going.
Bye.
Bye, Daisy.
Goodbye, Major.
The V professor just blew a gasket, that's all.
Oh, no. It was awful. Nobody could read. They wanted to burn my books, and they put me on trial, and...
She must have bumped her head or something. You better take the kid home. Come on, Daisy. I'll help you with your book report.
Thanks. But I think I want to finish reading it myself.
But a little while ago, you said you hated books.
Yeah, but since then, I made a major decision. What? I'll tell you about it sometime in the future.
What happened?
Wow. So good. So great. Like I said, there are others in that series, and I think I have the other ones, and I watched one of them, and we showed it actually on the streaming show, and it wasn't as good. And there's a couple of others which I need to sit down and actually try to find and watch and see do they reach the level of Magnificent Major. At this point I don't know, but thanks for watching today, and please vote. Watch yesterday's show and pick which ones you like, and then send the votes to skip@avgeeks.com, and we will tabulate, and then we will come up with the final 4 next Monday, and then we will compete against Found Footage Festival, and we will trounce them. So looking forward to that. Everybody have a great rest of your day. If you like what you saw and you want to support us, hit the thumbs up or the like button. You can also buy us coffee at ko-fi.com/avgeeks. Everybody have a great rest of your day, and we will see you tomorrow. Take care.